Bvlgari Dubai won.
Don't forget to subscribe and to hit the bell to get our latest notifications.
Hi Alexander, nice to see you. Welcome in Dubai.
Thank you, Jean-Christophe, for having us in Dubai in your resorts. This is Jean-Christophe Babin, the CEO of Bvlgari, but not only watches, he's also CEO of the entire Bvlgari group. So he's also responsible for the resorts, and we are in Dubai in one of those sensational resorts, and thank you for having us here.
Grazie mille, buongiorno a tutti.
Buongiorno a tutti, buongiorno. Jean-Christophe, you are having a watch exhibition here to bring, let's say, the people together, to have it in a more relaxed atmosphere. Is this a format you can imagine to continue to do?
Well, we believe that for our retailers and for you, it's very important to know as early in the year what the year will be made of in terms of novelties, especially just to plan your coverage, for our retailers to plan their assortments open to buy. And therefore, the pushing back of Basel and ACHS end of April, early May is obviously a major mistake. And that's why we decided and convinced the other LVMH watch brands to regroup and to run our own fair for the first time at home in Bvlgari Hotel, which is part of LVMH, obviously, to really fulfill the requirements of our partners. And obviously, we will go last time in Basel 2020 because we have a contract to respect, and we'll sit down after Basel 2020 and we'll assess the combination of Dubai, the four of us, and Basel multi-brand as usual, and decide whether this will replace in the future the traditional fair. I prefer personally quality over quantity. So yes, in Basel, maybe our teams will meet with 900 journalists, but what counts for me is to meet with the 150 which are reshaping the world opinion. And yes, we may meet with 400 or 500 retailers in Basel, but what counts for me is to have my top 100 who are representing 80% of my business. So it's really a decision which first respects the requirements of their budgeting, and second, really is a qualitative obsession over a quantitative, which is not necessarily the most efficient at the end of the day.
I fully understand. Thank you for the compliment, by the way. Shaping the world, you see.
You do. I mean, you are very influential.
Let's shape some watches. Jean-Christophe, you have been overthinking the Finissimo a little bit. Why this? What happened?
Well, Finissimo, is a long-term vision of really building an icon, embodying the ultimate masculine contemporary elegance. That's the vision. But to create an icon is very difficult. So we have started by supercars, world records. So extreme watches, not only because of the revolutionary movement, but also the materials, carbon, titanium, ceramics, which are all adding to the Finissimo a lot of excitement, but which are rather talking and addressing a community of watch connoisseurs who have already many watches. Mm-hmm. You don't buy as your first luxury watch a titanium watch, hardly ever. You don't buy as your first watch a minute repeater, hardly ever. So this is a supercar, and this has established really Octo Finissimo as the watch of the 21st century, at least the first decade. Now it's time to broaden and to build a second layer, which I would call the Gran Turismo, because when you have supercars, it's for a small elite, and it's not cars that you can drive every day. Gran Turismo, conversely, is broader, also still pretty selective. And this is the Gran Turismo. It's not any longer exotic advanced material, but it's beautifully polished and brushed still. The dimensioning has been modified, A, to allow 100 meters waterproofness as much as the screw crown, so that...
there's a screwed crown.
Yeah. So this is really, you can dive into the pool, you can do scuba diving, you can do whatever you want. Wow. It's really a daily watch, by all means. And it's still ultra thin. It's not the thinnest, because the thinnest is a titanium brother, but it's amongst the thinnest watch, so the elegance is maintained. The proportions, I think, are extraordinary, and the price gets down to 11,500, which makes it really a proposal in the art of luxury watches from our main competitors. So this is really a watch which audience is different from the supercars, but much broader. And likewise in gold, we have as well the case 100 meters waterproof with the screw crown, applying exactly the same approach. So we have two Octo Finissimo different cases now, and it's also meant to be a rather mainstream gold watch, and not, an extreme gold watch.
So you're having only gold and steel in the as
to start with.
To start with in the new.
Yeah. To start.
Okay.
To start
the
with.
name is the same.
Finissimo.
It's not Finissimo Due or Finissimo.
No. For us, in the strategy, it's a step 2.
Okay.
But unlike Ferrari, it's not, the La Ferrari versus the F, whatever it is, GT. No, it's the Gran Turismo. And all the further developments will be made, you can imagine different dials, different combinations, but with those properties.
Can you get this one with a rubber strap also? Or
of course,
with different?
This will come in due time.
Okay. So it will be, its first offer is steel?
Yeah, because steel is a mainstream market.
Yeah.
So we absolutely want to offer.
And the black
and the black is the signature of Octo.
Okay.
Octo was born black. And so black lacquered is really the signature. So we want to start with a signature product.
I see.
To really appeal to that broader target. But at the same time, we will continue the supercars. So in Basel, we will discover a new supercar, because we believe that the icon building is a long task in order to really be recognized as one of the icons of watchmaking forever. And therefore, we continue to bring supercars, but at the same time, being ambitious in watchmaking market share, we need products which are meant for people buying their first luxury watch. And this is typically this kind of product. Yes. We already have a world record here right now, because this is today on the market the smallest tourbillon mechanical watch movement. This is a 6th world record. It's not a Finissimo, it's different. And as such, we consider it at the same level as Finissimo in terms of innovation content. It has taken a lot of engineering to come up with a movement fitting in the very small head of our Satin-Polished seductory. So there is a 6th record. And now the question is, will there be a 7th record in Basel? So this is the real question.
I suppose there will be a 7th record, because if you are smiling the way you are smiling, I'm sure there will be something. I'm absolutely sure. And I know you have to continue a little competition with the other brand from Richemont that is always trying to get thinner, and you are in this ongoing, and it's a nice competition.
Exactly, and we have a lot of.
I'm waiting for Chabi Nouri, for Piaget to tell me her news.
Eventually, the more brands go thin, the larger is the elegant market.
Of course.
So if you're alone, it's one thing. But the ideal is not to be too many, but at least 3-4 brands innovating in the field of elegance and thinness is good for the market, because it makes it more mainstream. So I welcome competition in thinness, of course.
Great. Continue, you have fun. Anyway.
I do.
It will be a piece that will only be sold full of set with full diamonds?
No, we have also different settings and versions.
Okay,
So this is, let's say, the top of the range, because it's a full diamond set, so it's high jewelry with a tourbillon and with a diamond dial. Then we'll have
declinations also.
Exactly.
Okay,
and when you develop a new movement, you can imagine it's not for one season. It's for decades.
It's for.
But I think interestingly, we see that Bvlgari in ladies is very much believing into beauty, but also mechanics, to the point that alongside the tourbillon seductory, we have a new minute repeater in Diva, which remains the smallest minute repeater movement again in the world, with a malachite dial. Malachite is really coming straight out of jewelry, so you have always that connection, the Diva shape, the malachite art stone, making it a true Bvlgari watch. But with this little charm, Diva, being used as an elegant lever to start the music. Because no one suspects that it's minute repeater. And this is the beauty.
Looks like a fashion accessory, but you activate the minute repeater with
which is one of the most complicated complications.
Very nice little detail of the watch, I would say. Here, see?
Yeah. In the same philosophy, because here you wouldn't imagine this is a miniature beater, the gold.
Unless you know the brand and you know if the dial is opened, cut open,
but
and you know
again,
it's
it's not a lever, it's a push button. So we have redesigned the armors so that the sound comes equally well through a gold which is softer than it did in the past years on titanium and carbon. So it's not exactly the same movement because we had to modify markedly the hammering system.
Is this also the new case with a?
No, this one is still.
So not 100 meter water.
No, because we decided
this will be a new world record.
Yeah, but we can imagine. But as is, for us, for the miniature beater, it was pretty important to use as little gold as possible so that the resonance in a limited volume be leveraged as much as we can. But I don't exclude that we come next year with the whole line gradually aligned to the 100 meters standards and screw crown. I think it's a logical evolution of an icon which pretends to become more and more adopted by clients.
Last question. I have personally been observing this watch industry for almost 30 years now, and there's every decade one brand issues one iconic design. It's like this, and the last decade was the decade of the Octo Finissimo. That's what I always write and always say.
Thank you.
No, for me this is the iconic design of the last decade. Are you already working on something that will top this or be in your line and to create a new iconic design? Because the industry needs such steps. If we stay where we are with round watches, not that it is boring, but it is in a way boring because there's no creativity and you can put a movement, you can add functions, but if you don't dare to make something different
shape, you're right.
Is there something you don't have to tell me, of course, but
well, I mean, for the next 3 years, the focus remain for men Finissimo.
Yes.
Because we believe that.
No, I don't want you to replace it.
At the very beginning, and I want the company to be much bigger in watches before we add a second men's collection. I think in ladies we are fine because with Lucia, Diva and Serpenti, we cover really very well the ladies market. In men, we have been very wise to regroup on Octo Finissimo. And then now we have to build it as a major franchise, meaning by that substantial sales level. It's on its way because the results are good, but I think that we need to gain further critical mass to justify to our retailers to carry 2 men's lines.
Okay, I see. Strategically,
for our retailers, we have to think of our retailers' return on investment and turns.
Do you depend very much still on your retailers, or are you bringing back the business into your wholesale?
Well, we have been streamlining, and we are currently streamlining from 600 to 300 point of sales. But obviously, the 300 is appearing where 20% of the business, and the 300 we are either keeping or opening are representing 80%. So basically, this didn't shift much the balance between our own stores and the multi-brand. Just that the multi-brand keeping Bvlgari are more committed, focusing on watches only because we are withdrawing the jewelry. So they're only focused on Bvlgari is watches, and therefore more productive for us and for them, which is win-win. But the balance is more or less the same as before, because those 300 which disappeared were accounting eventually for a minor part of the wholesale business.
So we're waiting for the announcement of the next world record in Basel. Everybody please note down. Jean-Christophe will do.
But don't forget the current one.
Of course, no, but I'm sure there's something coming, a new sports car. Thank you very much for the update.
Alexander, as usual,
I will have now a closer look and we'll film the piece. Very nice. And thank you very much for the presentation.
And thank you for joining.
Yes, I'm happy.
And
I'm really
spending
happy.
that summer break into winter time with us in Dubai.
Gorgeous.
Resort.
It's gorgeous. It's good to be here instead of Geneva.
Yeah, it's good to be in summertime during winter.
No doubt.
Especially at Bvlgari home.
Yes, this is a stunning place. If you ever want to spend some holidays somewhere and you want to be treated like a king and live like an architect or a designer, come to Bvlgari.
Thank you, Alexander.
Advertising. I will send you the bill after.
Yeah, you're the best.